Hello again and welcome to our June edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything that we mentioned will be down in the description below. Let's get straight into some new firmware and software updates. Canon has released some new firmware for a few of their cinema EOS cameras, starting with the C70. The C70 has been really popular since its release, and its new 1.0.1.1 firmware looks to make it even better. Canon have added the ability to output a wide DR 709 view assist out over the HDMI and have added a standard BT709 gamma to the custom picture menu. This is awesome, as not being able to output a lot over HDMI was annoying when shooting in log with the C70. They have also added a new whole area AF mode, which increases the AF area to 80% of the frame. When this mode is selected, the AF can be switched between tracking and face detection when a face is touched. Canon have also updated the support of the 0.71 focal reducer adapter with 7 new fully compatible lenses. This means that they have full dual pixel autofocus support, optical corrections and metadata. Canon has also updated the C300 Mark III and C500 Mark II, starting with the 12G SDI, which was limited to only output 4K when shooting 4K and above, whereas now you can output a 2K or Full HD image while doing so, meaning you can now output to 3G devices that you couldn't before. You can also now use monitor out and HDMI at the same time, and they've added a new 1.8 D-squeeze mode, which has been added to both cameras, as well as the new 4x3 and 6x5 mode in the C500 Mark II while shooting in cinema raw light. Like the C70, you can also now burn in a LUT to your recording with the new look like function. Next is a pull down feature, which allows you to shoot at 60p while still outputting at 24 or 30p, so you can change the aesthetic without interrupting output. Lastly, you have the addition of the XC protocol, which means they will fit better into live production workflows, as this will allow them to be controlled remotely, as well as a few other things. NDI 5 is here and looks to improve the already fantastic functionality of NDI, with the main focus of the update being the ability to connect to a source connected to the internet anywhere in the world and allow it to work with pretty much any video application in the world. Several features have been added, one of them being NDI Bridge, which can be used to form a bridge between an NDI network no matter the location. NDI Remote also sounds interesting, as it looks to allow users to input live audio and video using any internet connected device via a simple URL to anywhere in the world. NDI 5 SDK and tools should be available to download this month, links are down below. Blackmagic has released Blackmagic RAW 2.1, which adds native support for the Apple Silicon currently being used in their new Macs. It has also optimized CPU decoding for clips from the EOS at 12K, added support for the S1H, S1 and S5, as well as the Nikon Z6 II and Z7 II, as well as just general stability improvements. I think Apple Silicon is going to be a big thing in our industry over the next few years, so it makes sense that Blackmagic improves support for B-roll on the current M1 chips. Atomos have been pretty busy recently, seeing as that they've released a good few new products over the past few months, and their new AtomX cast module looks to bring switching and streaming to the Ninja 5 and the 5 Plus. It adds 4 HDMI inputs, allowing you to switch using the touchscreen or the buttons on the bottom of the unit, as well as a HDMI output and USB-C, which features UVC support and the ability to ingest graphics to overlay on top of your feeds. It can be purchased as a standalone unit if you already own a Ninja 5, or as a bundle if not. It will be available in July, links to pre-order are in the description below. It looks to have plenty of features, and I'm excited to get one in to test and review hopefully at some point. Teradek has released a new product to their Bolt line, the 4K LT Max. This new zero latency system is taking the fantastic range and tech from its larger systems and packages it within a more compact and lightweight housing. It's also cross-compatible with all previous Bolt 4K TX RXs, which will make integrating these into existing packages nice and easy. It's available to pre-order now. SmallHD has released their new Cine 13, a 13-inch 4K production monitor featuring a 1500 nit screen with a PPI of 338 and 10-bit color using 8+ FRC, which is different to their true 10-bit displays featured in their OLED production monitors. The new Cine 13 is rated to display 100% of the Rec. 79 color space, whereas the OLEDs are stated to show the full DCI P3 gamut. The spec is a little bit disappointing given the monitor's almost £3,500 excluding VAT price tag, but it does look well built and features 4 12G SDI inputs and outputs, HDMI in and out, as well as a range of other ports that will make it a great production monitor. There really isn't another monitor in this size category that can display 4K, so it does put it in a pretty unique position. You can learn more via the links below. We released our video looking at the Prolycht Orion 300 FS last week, which is a full colour RGB ACL LED cob light, wanting to bring improved colour fidelity and accuracy to cob LED fixtures. You can check out the full video via the link in our bio. SmallRig has introduced their new mini matte box, which is a light and compact matte box with the ability to stack two 4x5.65 filters. It can be clamped directly onto lenses using one of the included adapter rings, or you can buy some kind of odd sizes separately. However, it can also be mounted directly onto bars in case you'd rather do so. This looks like a pretty decent compact matte box for people needing to keep weight as low as possible on their camera rig. It should be shipping in June and looks to be really affordable, so it could be a great pickup for the lower end of the market. With our production schedule, we shoot a lot of rushes and use a lot of storage, so I was quite intrigued to see Sabrent's Prolycht XTRM-Q, which is a 16TB external SSD with some awesome read and write speeds and the ability to run in RAID. I've used Sabrent drives before for my personal builds, as well as recording externally with several cameras, and they've been rock solid. This new external drive will not only be available in the 16TB variant I mentioned earlier, but will also be available as an enclosure, so you can use your own two M.2 NVMe drives. This could be a good option as it is quite pricey with the two 8TB NVMe drives pre-installed. However, it is cheaper than some of the other solutions like this on the market. With the ability to RAID the two drives and it being Thunderbolt 3 compliant, this could be a nice solution. However, the fact you have to use the included power supply and cannot bus power the drives means that it will limit the use quite a bit. BirdDog has announced a few new products this month, the first being the PF120, a full NDI box camera with a 20x zoom, all in a compact housing. It features a Sony Exmor-R back illuminated sensor, capable of capturing up to 1080p 60. Is UVC compliant, can be powered via PoE+, and can have its colour and Kelvin controlled remotely using BirdDog's software. This could be a good option for scenarios where a full PTZ camera can't be used or isn't needed versus a fixed camera. BirdDog also announced two new generations of their NDI based PTZ systems, the A200 Gen 2 and the A300 Gen 3. These systems are very similar to each other, but the A300 does feature a few improvements over the A200, the biggest being its environmental protection. It features increased wind load durability and a nitrogen filled housing to prevent the lens from fogging up. Like the PF120, they can also be controlled via BirdDog's Cam Control app and feature full NDI support. Cameras like this and just PTZ in general have become very popular with us as of late, obviously with the whole COVID thing going on. If you think that there's any kind of content that we could do that may be of interest to you, please let us know in the comments below. Panasonic has released a new affordable 50mm to their L-mount series of primes. This new lens is part of a prime series that Panasonic will be gradually releasing for their full-frame L-mount cameras, which will consist of a 25, 35, 50 and 85mm, all with a maximum aperture of f1.8. These primes are aimed at being an affordable set of primes that don't compromise too much on optical performance. They also look very compact and lightweight and have clearly been designed for hybrid shooters shooting both video and stills, and I'm interested to test all of these together once they are out to see how well they match, as these could be a decent set of hybrid primes for people shooting with any of the Panasonic S-series cameras. The Micro Four Thirds format is still alive and well, and Olympus have some really nice MFT lenses, and they are looking to flesh their lenses out even further with the addition of the Mzuko Digital ED 8-25mm f4 Pro. This is a pretty decent zoom ratio MFT and is a touch wider than most zooms at its price point for MFT. You are getting roughly a 16:50 zoom if you want to match field of views to full frame. It's also pretty compact and lightweight, which isn't surprising as it is an MFT lens. It may not be the fastest, but when paired with some of Olympus's other lenses, you could get a really versatile set of focal lengths in a couple of lenses, which when paired with something like the GH5 or Zekam E2M4, it will be a really small, compact little setup. Now let's quickly get through our quick-fire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description below. Rode released the Mic Drop, which is an attachment to make dropping lav mics under shirts much easier. Tilter released their accessories for the Sony Alpha 1. MRMC released their Bolt Mini Model Mover, which is a smaller and more affordable version of their Bolt robotic arm. God, we want one of these in our studio. Vaxis released the Atom 600K GTX, which is the same as their V-mount version, which has been out for a while, but uses a gold mount instead. Lexar released their new CF Express Type B reader, which uses USB 3.2, so you can in theory get transfer speeds up to 1700 megabytes per second. FX Lion have released the Sky 3, which can take up to 4 26V V-Locks to output enough juice to even power the Aperture 600D Pro. Panasonic have fully released the firmware needed to allow the GH5S to record ProRes RAW externally with a Ninja 5, as well as giving us a date for the upcoming S5, S1 and S1R firmware updates of the 13th of July. Maxis have also introduced their VFX filters, which consists of a white true streak, a blue true streak, a rainbow true streak, rainbow dazzle and a star cross filter. We also got an update from Canon about the R3, which will feature improved autofocus modes and the ability to record oversampled 4K and RAW internally. Roland has announced their V160HD streaming video switcher. This is a medium-sized event switcher board with a range of comprehensive features. Lastly, Adobe released a new beta for Premiere Pro, which really gives us a glimpse at the direction the program is heading in, hopefully with less bugs and crashes. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe ready for next month's quick kit, and let us know what kit you've picked up this month in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.